Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the award-winning, universally loved, best new podcast that's come out that isn't really that new, the Solo Soulscast. I'm your benevolent host, Shane Norton, and here we are, episode 3. Who knew it would come to this? Who would have thought that I could have possibly recorded 3 30-minute episodes of a podcast to release that literally 3 people might listen to? It's always been a dream of mine to do this. That's a lie. That's actually a huge lie, because I've never liked doing this stuff until very recently, which I talked about last week. And just between you and me, listeners, it wasn't actually last week. I just did it 2 minutes ago. But nobody has to know that. I'm already off the rails here. Already rambling, a minute and a half in. This is just... Okay. Welcome. I'll say it again, because I'm going to try to follow my small amount of notes. Welcome to the Solo Soulscast. I'm going to do things a little differently today. I usually have a structured set of notes, and I go off those. And that's what me and Adam used to do. I used to write very detailed notes, and I kind of just went off of those. And that's what I did last week for episode 2, all about the Dark Souls Platinum Trophy. I'm not doing that this week. This is going to be more stream of consciousness. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna talk for 20 or so minutes, which is, basically what I did last week. But I don't know. This is going to be even more organic, I guess. What is this episode about? It's about something that I've wanted to talk about on the regular Soulscast that we basically never got a chance to, because Adam was never finished with the game, so we couldn't really have a good discussion about it. We're gabbing about Demon Souls today. So gather around, children. Sit close, because I've been wanting to talk about this game for a long, long time. Before that, let's plug some shit real quick. Follow me on Instagram, Kalameet, Kalameet. Follow me on Twitter, Kalameet, except replace the L with a 1, so K-A-1-A-M-E-E-T. YouTube, you can search Shane Norton. Look for the profile picture of a Sam Adams beer. And the Shane Norton will have 150 plus videos. There's like 4 or 5 different Shane Nortons on YouTube, and they all have like between, I don't know, like 3 and 10 videos or something like that. It's pretty apparent which one I am. The one with 8 subscribers. Maybe 9 now that I just released episode 2. So that's it. And chances are, if you're listening to this, you follow me on either Instagram or Twitter, or maybe you're even subscribed to YouTube anyway. And just for anyone that doesn't know, my YouTube is all boss battles. Boss battles right now from games that I play on my PlayStation 4, because it allows you so easily to record and upload videos and screenshots. So that's what it is. I have Dark Souls 2, I have Bloodborne, I have Guacamelee, I have Final Fantasy 7, the bosses from that. I have some bosses from Lords of the Fallen. I have the first 2 bosses from Axiom Verge. I have maybe I have others. So that's that. And I like to talk about what I'm playing. I like to know what other Souls fans play. I think it's very interesting. Do they play? I'd almost like to make a chart one day, like hardcore Souls fans, like people that will listen to a Dark Souls, Bloodborne podcast. What else do they play? So is it like, will we find that they play a lot of RPGs? They probably do. Will we find that they play a lot of racing games as well? I feel like maybe not, but who knows? If they play racing games, that's fine. I think it'd be a little surprising, but I almost feel like the Souls people are a different breed, and that's not a bad thing, and that's not demeaning other people, because I have friends that play lots of Call of Duty and lots of Madden, and that's fine. I actually love playing Madden, even though I'm horrible at it. I don't care for Call of Duty. I actually hate those fucking games. But it's just because it's not my thing. I don't like first-person shooters, besides Borderlands and Time Splitters, if anyone knows Time Splitters. look for my Time Splitters podcast. And that is a podcast I could absolutely do without a problem. I could probably make 800 episodes about it. Maybe I'll start. Okay. Jesus, what I'm playing. I just finished Final Fantasy VII, quote unquote, last week. I want to go back to Axiom Verge, which I've beaten 2 bosses. I'm probably less than a quarter of the way through. I really want to finish up Dark Souls 2. I started the Scholar of the First Sin, which is the PS4 edition. Jesus, I started it months ago, and I still have to beat the Burnt Ivory King, and then I have to beat the regular bosses, Nishandra, and I think the actual Scholar. And I hate the Burnt Ivory King battle so much. I've just been putting it off. And specifically for my YouTube channel, for Bloodborne, there's a couple Chalice dungeon bosses that I want to record and upload because I don't have them. I'd like to try to be as complete as possible with all my boss battles. So like every game I play, I'd like to record every single boss, and there's a couple I'm missing from Bloodborne. Like the Undead Giant is one of them, I know that. So I want to do that. I also just very recently started Infamous Second Son, so I'm going to play through that. I am looking to get the Platinum on that as well, since I have the Platinum trophy for Infamous and Infamous 2. I'm not just playing it because of the Platinum. I love the Infamous games. They're some of my favorite PlayStation games. But we talked enough about trophies last week. And that's it. That was the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just kidding, of course. No, I'm talking about Demon Souls. I have no notes. If you look at my computer screen, it says Overview, my personal history with Demon Souls, and then I just stopped. And the reason I stopped was because, actually, out of total laziness. Because I didn't want to write the notes. I just didn't want to. So I thought, you know what? Instead of writing notes, I'm just gonna free flow. I'm gonna go off the top of my head. They call it stream of consciousness, I think, and that's what I'm gonna do. Ain't no thing, just gonna do it. So that's what we're doing here. I don't know how much I've talked about Demon Souls on the regular Soulscast. We did 14 episodes. We started, I want to say back in April of 2015, and we went through to like September before we kind of stopped. So I don't remember exactly what I've talked about in those months. I know we've mentioned Demon Souls a little bit, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it for me personally, because it means a great deal to me. It came out in 2009. I know that much. I remember reading about it on, I think the very first time I saw it was GameSpot.com. And I saw, it was some article, it talked about this game, Demon Souls. It was supposed to be like one of the hardest games ever released. And even though, like I said last week, I'm really bad at video games, this whole it being really hard really got to me. I was like, boy, this sounds like a game that I'm going to want to play. So I would keep up with it a little bit, not fully. And then eventually it came out. And I didn't buy it because we didn't have the money, because we, at the time, didn't really have the money to just, spend $60 on a video game. So like, whatever. I really want to play it, but it's not that big of a deal. I can wait. So I waited. Months pass, and it came out in 2009. It's now October 2010. My birthday is in the very end of October. A friend, my best friend, got me a GameStop gift card. So I was like, him and my wife and I were at a GameStop one night, and I don't remember how much the gift card was for. $30 maybe, I don't know. But they had Demon Souls used, and I was like, I'm finally buying this, because I had eyed it so many times over the various months. Like, I want to buy it, but I don't have the money. But this time I said, I'm buying this game. I believe I also bought Dragon Age Origins that night, which is, I tried to play that before Demon Souls. I think because my wife wanted to play it. Anyway, so I finally bought Demon Souls, and I was like, this is awesome. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So I started playing it. I like it. I also almost give up after like one day of playing it. because the first level, you go through a tutorial. After the tutorial, you're into the first level, which is the Palace of Boletaria. It's the very first level, and I don't think I've ever had a harder time with any video game, maybe in my entire life, than the very first time playing Demon's Souls, the very first time going through level 1-1. I probably died 200 times. And it was a situation where I would usually get a little farther than I was last time, but it got so frustrating that I thought about just stopping because I couldn't do it. Enemies would kill me. I would start finally being able to get a rhythm down where I knew how to block because I was attached to my shield. And I had a sword. I don't even remember what kind of character I started with, but I started getting a little better at blocking. But then I would get to a part where there's a big burly knight, and he has like armor all up and down his body, like an armored helmet or mask, and he has glowing blue eyes, I think, and he's much stronger than the other like undead scoundrels you've been fighting so far. And he would whoop my ass because he was very strong, and he could stun you with his sword even if you blocked because he was so powerful. And I wasn't very good with rolling, and I couldn't parry and riposte at all. So it was a very, very frustrating time. So I almost stopped playing. I finally broke through. I got through the level. I opened the gate so I could fight Phalanx, who's the first boss of the game. Second, if you count the Vanguard boss in the tutorial. So Phalanx, who I honestly don't remember how hard he was for me my very first time, but I beat him. And it's funny because now I can probably run through that first level in like 5 minutes. So I beat it, and then you go to the Nexus, which is the big hub world, and after you go through a short little kind of cutscene, you can essentially go wherever you want. There's 5 worlds, and you can go either to world 1, 2, because there's like worlds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then each kind of different level is level 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, So you could go to level 1, 2, which is immediately after the Phalanx battle. It's more the Tower of Boletaria. Or you could go to level 2, which is the Stonefang Tunnel. Level 3 is the Shrine of... No, not the Shrine of Storms. The, oh, Jesus Christ. Level 4 is the Shrine of Storms. World 4. World 5 is the Valley of Defilement. I can't think of what World 3 is. Tower of Latria. There you go, Tower of Latria. So you can go to any of those. I don't remember what I did, but I remember being very stuck with any place I went. Any world I went to, it was just too hard, and I got stuck. Eventually, I had a friend. It was my wife's friend that she knew, but we were kind of friends too after my wife and I met. And we weren't married back then, but and he was a huge fan of Demon's Souls before I was even. And so I would text him about it, and we would play online together, me and him and his other friend, and they were like experts at the game. Because I got it, I don't know if I said I got it in 2010, so I got it about a year after it came out. So they were like experts with it. So I kind of ran through the game with them, which I almost wish I didn't do because they did a lot of the stuff for me at first, at least a little bit of it. Like, we would all get together in one world, and then I would kind of just follow them through like World 2-1, like the first part of Stonefang Tunnel. I would follow them through it. I followed them to the Tower of Latria. I think that was 3-2, the second part of the Tower of Latria. I remember they showed me the trick of how to kill one of them. Spoiler alert for Demon's Souls, for a 6-year-old game. They showed me the trick of how to kill one of the man-eaters. Before you even get into the battle, you can stand right up to the fog gate to the very right, and I think you can see through it, and you can see one of the man-eaters that enters the battle. You can shoot arrows at him, and you can kill him before you even enter the battle. So you only have to fight one of them. So they showed me that, and they did a bunch of other stuff in the game. So my very first playthrough of Demon's Souls, I only did probably like 60% of the stuff. Because they went through and they really like just went, they were like robots. They knew exactly where to go, they knew where treasures were, they knew how to kill the enemies, they knew how to kill the bosses. So it was fun because it was really fun playing with other people, but at the same time I felt like And definitely in retrospect, I was depriving myself of just the chance of playing it blind, just trying to figure stuff out. There was still a lot of stuff I had to figure out and a lot of stuff I had to do, but so that's kind of how I started the game. And then I don't remember exactly, but I kept playing it. I played it with them, and then after a while they didn't play it, and I kept playing it because I was getting obsessed. And the game, it obviously it started my love of Souls games. It was the first Souls game. Before that, there wasn't any Souls games, but From Software, who makes the games, had made a bunch of other games, and I didn't know about Kingsfield or Shadow Tower or what else? Eternal Ring and Evergrace, games that kind of maybe aren't Souls-like, but have similarities to Souls games, because that's what From did first, and then they kind of did Demon Souls. So I had no idea about this company. I had no idea about Atlas, who maybe published Demon Souls, I think. All I knew was Demon Souls. This was a game that was awesome. So this opened the door for me. And then when Dark Souls was announced, I was hook, line, and sinker. And I've talked about Dark Souls many times, but that started my deep, ridiculous obsession with the Souls games. Demon Souls was I don't know how to say it exactly. Demon Souls hooked me, and Dark Souls consumed me, I guess. Because as much as I love Demon Souls, I don't think it had as profound an effect as Dark Souls did my first playthrough. But something else that Demon Souls does for me actually is it really gives me a nostalgic feeling for that time in my life. It was a simpler time. Before I had a daughter, before I was married, it was just me and my girlfriend living together in an apartment. And that was it. I think we both had jobs. Pretty sure we both had jobs. I mean, we both have jobs now, but it was a simpler time. But it also strangely reminds me of like fall time and Halloween. And I might have talked about this briefly on episode 1 of the SS. At the end of it, I think I did. But whenever I'm feeling nostalgic for like Halloween, or whenever it's around Halloween or October, I just want to throw in Demon Souls. It just it makes me feel so good. I remember all those nights I would stay up late playing it, and how frustrated I would get, and then how amazing it felt to beat a boss after you have been stuck on it for an hour, or after you've tried to beat it 30 times in a row and you can't beat it. And that's what everyone says about the Souls games, and it's true, because that's one of the best things that the Souls games give you. They're very hard. I think the difficulty is overblown a little bit. They're very hard, but no other video game that I've ever played, I've played a decent amount, no other video game makes you feel the way the Souls games do when you beat something, overcome something you have spent hours like banging your head against the wall. Like Dark Souls, it could be Ornstein and Smo, who are probably the toughest. I think Gwyn is as tough or tougher. Demon Souls, I would say Flame Lurker really gave me a hard time. The Man Eaters really gave me a hard time. I remember the first time, I think my first playthrough Flame Lurker I beat with my 2 friends who I played it with. So I knew it was hard, but it wasn't that hard. My second playthrough, my New Game Plus playthrough, oh boy, sorry, I might have to redact that a little bit. I either beat it with them playing with me, or I cheesed him with magic, because he's very weak to magic. Like the homing soul spear or whatever the hell it was, I don't remember. But my second New Game Plus playthrough, I beat him melee, straight up mano y mano, just with my sword. And I remember how amazing that felt. Like, that was the first time I felt like maybe I'm okay at these games. Like, I just beat arguably the hardest boss, or at least the second hardest boss in the game, with straight up melee, when a lot of people just go full on sorcery because it's easier. And I've beaten him with sorcery, and I remember being amazed at how easy it was. You can, if you're strong enough and have the right spells, you can kill him in like 5 hits, and the battle's like 30 seconds long. So beating Flame Lurker like that was one of the best things I've done in that game. And then beating the Man Eaters legit and not killing one first was also one of the best things I've done in the game. It just makes you feel great. Getting the platinum trophy is probably the best thing I've done in the game, and that'll be a podcast for another day. So it's very challenging. Looking back on it, compared to, let's say, Dark Souls or Bloodborne or even Dark Souls 2, I don't know if it might be the easiest of all the 4 games. Now again, for me, it's very, very hard because it was my first time ever playing a game like this. So now if I play any new games, even when I play Bloodborne or when Dark Souls 3 comes out in a couple months, well, in like 2 months, or when I play Dark Souls, I have experience. I kind of know what to expect, even though every game is different and they throw a lot of new things in. I know the core gameplay and the core mechanics. So like I'm familiar with how the games play. I know how to roll. I know how to dodge. I know how the weapons swing. I know how magic works, and I kind of know the way enemies move, and I just know the way that From likes to program the games and what they like to do. Demon Souls, I don't know any of that. Most of the RPGs I'd played up until that point were either turn-based, like a Final Fantasy or Breath of Fire, or they were like more action-adventure, like Zelda games or like Diablo games, maybe like hack and slash. So an RPG like this I hadn't really played. So Demon Souls is very special to me because it opened the door for other games like this. And by other games, I just mean the Souls games, because there haven't been a lot of other games like this. So Demon Souls started it for me. I'm really glad I got to play Demon Souls first, and I got to play the games in succession. I know my cohort Adam started with Bloodborne. He worked the exact opposite. He started with Bloodborne, and then I believe he played Dark Souls 2, and then he went to Dark Souls, and then he went to Demon Souls. I remember him saying Demon Souls was a lot easier because he had all the experience. I remember saying Demon Souls was probably the hardest when I started. But going back now, thinking about it now, there was only really a handful of bosses that were difficult in that game, if we're just talking about bosses. I mentioned Flame Lurker and the Man-Eaters. False King Allant, I remember, gave me a very, very hard time. He was very difficult. Oddly enough, my very first playthrough, I remember beating him pretty easily, and I was like, wow, that was an easy battle. On my New Game Plus playthrough, I must have been stuck on him for 2 hours. But a lot of the other bosses, Phalanx is super easy. Dragon God is super easy. Fool's Idol, a lot of people find easy. I actually kind of have a bit of a difficult time with her. The Old Monk is always an NPC when I play, so he's usually pretty easy. The bosses for World 5, for how hard the Valley of Defilement is, Leechmonger and Dirty Colossus are easy as hell. They're unbelievably susceptible to fire. Maiden Astrea, whatever her name is, she's super easy. So all these bosses, besides those few, Armor Spider I think is pretty difficult too. They're all hard. The rest of the bosses are not that hard. I mean, maybe I can say the same for Dark Souls. How many of the bosses are really hard besides Ornstein and Smo? Maybe the 4 Kings. I don't even think they're that hard, if your damage output is good enough. Gwyn, I think, is very, very difficult. And then the DLC bosses are hard as hell, too. And then, you can look at Dark Souls 2. How many of those bosses were really hard? The Throne Watcher, Throne Defender. The Dark Lurker was very, very hard. Who else? I mean, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But so each game really only has a handful of very, very hard bosses. And then Bloodborne. Martyr Ligarius is pretty hard. Gabbin was pretty hard. The DLC bosses were a pain in the balls. They were so hard. Man, so freaking hard. But now we're getting off topic. I wanted to stream of conscious about Demon Souls. I think I've done a pretty good job about that. I kind of talked about my history with it and what it means to me. I think that's pretty good. I mean, I could go on and on about Demon Souls, but I think I might want to stop very soon, because I can do more formulated episodes where I can talk more specifically about the worlds. I can do an episode about the worlds. I can do an episode about the bosses. I can go more in depth. I'm going to do an episode about my platinum trophy. I'm going to do, I don't know what else I can do off the top of my head. I know Adam and I had an idea to compare Demon Souls and Bloodborne, because he thought they were very similar games. I'm going to leave that one alone, because I'm not sure how to do that one just yet. But this was kind of just, I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about my history with it. like how I first got the game, how I first played it, what it means to me. It makes me feel good. It's not my favorite game of the series. I flip-flop on that sometimes. I know I think the very first episode of the Soulscast, I said Dark Souls 2 is my favorite. It's Dark Souls. Dark Souls is my favorite. I mean, how the fuck can it not be my favorite? But I love all the games. I love Dark Souls 2, even though some people don't. I think Dark Souls 2 is an amazing game. And Bloodborne was awesome. I think Bloodborne was incredible. And obviously Demon Souls, even though it might be the simplest of the 4 games, because it was the first, it's still amazing. And I would go back and play it right now. And since I have a working PS3, maybe I'll do that pretty soon. Except I'm kind of holding out until I can buy game capture hardware so I can record the boss battles. I would love to upload Demon Souls and Dark Souls boss battles to my YouTube channel. I think that would be great. Especially Demon Souls, because that's real cut and dry. That's just, there's like 18 bosses or something like that. So I think that's where I'm going to end it. It's a little shorter than last week's. I'm at 27 minutes. I really want to play some infamous Second Son. So I'm going to probably shut it down in a minute here. If anyone out there has a PS3, because Demon Souls is a PS3 exclusive, much in the same way Bloodborne is a PS4 exclusive. By the way, I'm happy that Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 were released on more than just PlayStation. I used to be a really big PlayStation fanboy, and I'm glad I'm not, because that shit is just annoying. If you're hardcore PlayStation or Xbox, it doesn't matter. It's your preference. Do whatever makes you happy. And don't shit on other people if it's not your exact preference. So I used to be like that, and I'm ashamed that I was. I'll just say that. So I'm glad Dark Souls got released to the public. I wish they would release Demon Souls on the Xbox One. I really wish they would release Demon Souls on the PS4. That would be something. That would be a momentous occasion. So if you have a PS3, alright, I'm going to preface this in 2 ways. Column A and column B. Column A, you have a PS3, you've never ever played any Souls games, but you're interested. Start with Demon Souls. It's the first. It's a great jumping off point. Lots of things that are referenced in other games, even so far as Bloodborne, originate in Demon Souls. And that's not even entirely true, because stuff like the Moonlight Greatsword, or the Moonlight Sword, whatever you want to call it, was in, I think, at least in Kingsfield, which is a series before the Souls games. But as far as Souls stuff goes, there's some stuff that started in Demon Souls that has carried on in various iterations in the other Souls games, like patches, and the crows that you trade stuff with. I never remember their names, but that stuff was in Demon Souls. So that's a great place to start. If you're interested in the Souls games, you have a PS3, you've never played any Souls game, start with Demon Souls. You can probably find it cheap. I know it was just on sale on the PlayStation Store for like $8. I feel like it goes on sale a lot on the PlayStation Store, so look out for it. Column B is people that have a PS3. This is going to be kind of the same exact thing. Have a PS3, have played Souls games. Maybe they've played Dark Souls, or maybe they've only played Bloodborne. If you've only played one Souls game that wasn't Demon Souls, and you're curious about Demon Souls, don't even hesitate. Just buy it, borrow it. Don't steal it, because that's not really cool. Buy it, borrow it, rent it, whatever, and play it. If you've played Dark Souls and liked it, you'll like Demon Souls. If you played Dark Souls 2, and that's the only Dark Souls game you've played, you'll still like Demon Souls. It might be a tiny bit different. If you've only played Bloodborne, Demon Souls definitely is going to be different for you. I still think you can go and play it. I would even say, if you've only played Bloodborne, and you have access to a PS3, play Demon Souls before Dark Souls. Play Demon Souls, and then Dark Souls, and then Dark Souls 2, and go that way. I think any way you cut it, Demon Souls is the first game you should start with, or the next game you should get to if you haven't played it yet and you like the Souls games. So that's all I'm going to say. This was actually a little less rambly than I was expecting. This actually went pretty well. I kind of like this free form kind of thing. It's shorter than my last episode 2, which was almost 40 minutes. So I'm going to cut it off here, and I'm going to say, everyone, have a great week. Hopefully this is up on Wednesday like I want. Tune in next week to episode 4, which at this point I actually have no idea what it's going to be about, so it's just going to be a surprise to everybody. And thanks for listening, and I love you all. So have a great night. Kisses.